Hello and welcome to Vision of Asia, the news you can trust and events that move and celebrate our very own South Asian community. I'm Nidhi Kathuria coming to you from our ITV Gold studio in New Jersey. In the headlines today, Kashmir schools is set to reopen on February 28 after being shut for 31 months. High Court hears hijab case amid fresh row in Karnataka schools. Filmmaker Ravi Tandon passes away. World Radio Day celebrated on February 13th. Anil Menon among 7 chosen by Cornell University for prestigious postdoctoral scholarships. 3 Indian origin students among 2022 Gates Cambridge scholars. Produced by Gauri Khan, the first trailer of Love Hostel starring Sanya Malhotra, Vikrant Macy and Bobby Deol is out. Stay with us on Vision of Asia for news in detail right after this short break. Schools in Kashmir were forced to shut for 31 months because of the grim security situation and the COVID outbreak. While colleges and universities partially resumed classes last year, schools were not allowed to open due to the second COVID wave. A sigh of relief was experienced by parents and students when the government yesterday announced that the schools will reopen on February 28. Karnataka schools up to grade 10 reopened today amid controversy over the state barring Muslim students from wearing a hijab during classes. Grade 11 and 12 are closed till Wednesday. Petitions against the ban are being heard by the High Court. As schools reopened this morning, there were some disturbing videos on the net like students being forced to remove their hijabs before entering campuses. One clip showed a teacher from a state-aided school in Mandya district saying, remove that, which is the hijab, to students. The clip also showed some parents asking that their children be allowed to wear a hijab till inside the building, but permission was refused. They were only allowed to enter after removing their hijabs. Ahead of today's classes, orders banning large gatherings were announced in districts like Udupi and Shivamogga, which witnessed tense standoffs between students demanding the right to wear a hijab and those opposed, including right-wing groups brandishing saffron shawls and scarves and shouting Jai Shri Ram. In Mangaluru, prohibitory orders are in place for 200 meters around all high schools. A 3-member bench of the Karnataka High Court, led by Chief Justice Rituraj Avasthi and comprising Justice Krishna S. Dikshit and Justice J.M. Kazi, has resumed its hearing. The protests have escalated rapidly over the past few weeks and been noticed worldwide, with Nobel laureate Malala Yousafzai and French footballer Paul Pogba supporting the Muslim students. Rashad Hussain, the U.S. ambassador at large for international religious freedom, tweeted on Friday, "Religious freedom includes the ability to choose one's religious attire." In response on Saturday, India's External Affairs Ministry spokesman Arindam Bagchi tweeted, "Our constitutional framework and mechanisms, as well as our democratic ethos and polity, are the context in which issues are considered and resolved. Motivated comments on our internal issues are not welcome."
Hey, go try. ಹಿಜಾಬನ್ನ ಕಳಿಸಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ಪೋಷಕರು ಹಿಜಾಬನ್ನ ಧರಿಸಿ ಕೂಡ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ ಆದರೆ ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ಪೋಷಕರು ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಕಡೆ ಅಧ್ಯಾಪಕರು ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಕಲಿಸಿ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು. ಈ ನಡುವೆ ಕೂಡ ಗಮನಿಸಬಹುದಾಗಿರುವಂಥದ್ದು. ಅಂದರೆ ಹಿಜಾಬ್ ಧರಿಸಿ ಕೂಡ ಬರ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ದಯಮಾಡಿ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಕೂಡ ಈ ವಿದ್ಯಾಭ್ಯಾಸ ಅವಕಾಶ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ವಿದ್ಯಾಭ್ಯಾಸ ಕಳಿಸೇ ಬರಬೇಕು ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು.
Tata Sons on Monday appointed former chairperson of Turkish Airlines Ilker Ayçi as the chief executive officer and managing director of Air India. The board, after due deliberations, approved the appointment of Ilker Ayçi as the CEO and MD of Air India. This appointment is subject to requisite regulatory approvals, Tata Sons stated in a release. Recently, Tata Group has officially taken over Air India from the government. He was among the more important directors of the 1970s. Ravi Tandon, the man who made Anhoni, Majboor and Khel Khel Mein, which can be called his successful suspense trilogy, died 6 days before his 87th birthday of lung fibrosis and consequent respiratory failure on February 11th. He was actress Ravina Tandon's father. The filmmaker was known to be a humble, warm and affectionate person and a very professional director. His other successful films include Jhoota Kahin Ka, Waqt Ki Diwar and Khuddar, the ensemble cast family drama Top Line by Sanjeev Kumar and Amitabh Bachchan. As a director, his last movie was veteran actress Nanda's home production Nazrana, starring Rajesh Khanna, Smita Patil and Sridevi. Originally an assistant to director R.K. Nair on Love in Shimla and Ye Raaste Hain Pyar Ke, Tandon made his directorial debut with Balidan, featuring Manoj Kumar and Saira Banu. Ravi Tandon conceived Hindi cinema's first song shot in a pub, Hangama Ho Gaya, featuring Bindu, in his maiden production Anhoni in 1973. Even in today's date and age, there are a lot of people still who not only trust radio, but also rely on it for the consumption of news and for entertainment purposes. The theme this year is Radio and Trust. And true to its mandate, All India Radio emerged as the #1 trusted brand in a recent survey by Reuters. All India Radio, AIR, officially known since 1957 as Akashvani, is the national public radio broadcaster of India and is a division of Prasar Bharati. It was established in 1936. Headquartered in the Akashvani Bhavan building in New Delhi, it houses the drama section, the FM section, the national service, and is also home to the Indian television station Doordarshan Kendra. All India Radio is the largest radio network in the world and one of the largest broadcasting organizations in the world in terms of the number of languages broadcast and the spectrum of socio-economic and cultural diversity it serves. AIR's home service comprises 420 stations located across the country, reaching nearly 92% of the country's area and 99.19% of the total population. AIR originates programming in 23 languages and 179 dialects. When the Indian State Broadcasting Service was renamed All India Radio, Rabindranath Tagore rechristened it as Akashvani, the voice that comes over from the skies. through a poem penned for the inauguration of Calcutta's shortwave service. Broadcasting began in June of 1923 during the British Raj with programs by the Bombay Presidency Radio Club and other radio clubs. In August of 1947, All India Radio hired its first female newsreader, Saida Bano, who read the news in Urdu. Here are some more trivia about All India Radio. The signature tune of All India Radio was composed by Walter Kaufmann, then Director of Music at AIR. Kaufmann was forced to leave Prague because of Hitler's fascist rule. He came to India in 1934. He lived in Bombay for 12 years and worked in the music department of All India Radio. Amitabh Bachchan, who has India's most famous baritone, was rejected by All India Radio for a job. Can you believe that? The harmonium was banned on All India Radio's network between 1940 and 1971. The instrument was deemed incapable of handling the complex notes of Indian classical music and was also dubbed un-Indian. Imagine that. In 2012, Bangladesh recognized Akashvani for its contribution in Bangladesh Liberation War. Binaka Geet Mala was broadcast on Radio Ceylon from 1952 to 1988 and then shifted to the Vivid Bharati service of All India Radio Network in 1989, where it ran until 1994. It was the first radio countdown show of Indian film songs and has been quoted as being the most popular radio program in India during its run. The show was hosted throughout its entire run by the living legend called Amin Sayani. With that, we are pleased to announce America's Radio Guru, a name to reckon with in the South Asian community, Kulraj Anand's new show Kuch Bhi, that will soon be launched on ITV Gold. Here's Anand, the voice you've heard for decades on radio, in flesh and blood with his take on World Radio Day and Kuch Bhi.
गीत और संगीत के चाहने वालों को कुलराज का प्यार भरा नमस्कार दोस्तों। रेडियो एक ऐसा माध्यम है जिसके सुनने वाले आंखों के सामने नहीं होते, दिल के करीब होते हैं, जज्बात महकते हैं, बातें महकती हैं। याद है पहली बार जब बिना का गीत माला की पहली पायदान पर, जी हाँ, बिना के गीत माला सुनने वाले बहनों और भाइयों, अब पेश करते हैं वो आवाज़, यानी कि अमीन सानी साहब की आवाज़, उनका अंदाज़, या फिर बच्चन साहब, कभी कभी मेरे दिल में। दोस्तों, ये आवाज़ें मिलती मिलाती रहती हैं, दिल को बेदाग करती हैं, और मैं भी आ रहा हूँ आपको चाहत और मोहब्बत का एहसास, यानी कि थोड़ा सा एंटरटेन कराने, यानी कि कुछ भी कहीं भी हो सकता है। जब आप किसी से मिलते हैं, आप ये जानना चाहते हैं, कौन है भाई आप, कहाँ से आए हैं? ओह, मुंबई से, या फिर दिल्ली से, या फिर चेन्नई से, आए कहाँ से हैं? आपको सबसे मिलाएंगे और आपका दिल बहलाएंगे। मैं हूँ कुलराज। कुछ भी, क्या समझे, कुछ भी।
Cornell University's College of Arts and Sciences has selected 7 researchers for its 2022 cohort of Klarman postdoctoral fellows. Among them is Indian-American Anil Menon. Describing the candidates as 7 exceptional early career scholars from around the country, Cornell said they will be awarded 3-year fellowships to pursue independent research in the arts and humanities, social sciences, and natural sciences. Menon is a doctoral student in political science at the University of Michigan. He will write a book on the political legacy of forced migration, which is on the rise globally due to climate change and conflict, the press release said. 3 students of South Asian heritage from around the US are among the 23 winners of the 2022 Gates Cambridge Scholars announced on February 9th. Nisita Datta, who will be pursuing chemistry at Cambridge's St. Catherine's College, Maya Jaman, a PhD student in biological sciences who will join the Department of Veterinary Medicine at Selwyn College, Cambridge, and Anjali Kantharuban, who will pursue her MPhil in Theoretical and Applied Linguistics at Churchill College, are among those named for the prestigious scholarships. Jaman, who did ecology and evolutionary biology from Yale University, grew up in New York City and South India. That background, she said, made her develop a lifelong appreciation for biodiversity and curiosity about global change. For her PhD, Datta will be working to create novel nanobody drug conjugates to treat pancreatic cancer in an international collaboration between the Cambridge Department of Chemistry and the National Institutes of Health. Kantharuban is a University of California, Berkeley graduate in computer science and linguistics. A first-generation immigrant in California, Kantharuban's goal is to make natural language processing equally functional for all languages in all their variations to prevent further loss of linguistic and cultural diversity. On Valentine's Day, Nawazuddin Siddiqui and Nupur Sanan celebrate love with Nurani Chehra. The duo will kick off this cute and quirky romantic comedy with a strong social message about being comfortable in your own skin. National award-winning and internationally acclaimed actor Nawazuddin Siddiqui reasons it's a film that holds up a mirror to one of society's biggest misconceptions and sends out a message that looks are a matter of perception. Director Navneet Singh is happy to be helming the project. The new Z5 movie stars Sanya Malhotra and Vikrant Massey as a young newly married couple in love. They are on the run from the murderous family which doesn't want them together. The couple seeks help from the police, which gives them protection and a dingy hostel to live in, safe from their vengeful families. However, Bobby Deol's evil assassin is brought in to seek out the girl and bring her back home, where the family will kill her for their twisted sense of honor. Directed by Shankar Raman, the film is all set to stream on Z5 from February 25th.
अब पा लिया तुझे, बाकी सब बेईमानी है।
दुनिया इधर की उधर हो जाए बिल्लो, तेरे साथ बेईमानी कभी नहीं करूंगा।
आपके घर वालों का क्या रिएक्शन?
ज्योति कहाँ से?
फिलहाल आपको एक हफ्ते के लिए मैं डिस्ट्रिक्ट सेफ होम ग्रांट करता हूँ।
हमारा ताजमहल,
भूत बंगला तो नहीं, ताजमहल दिखे।
गद्दे साफ तो होंगे ना?
अब थोड़ी बहुत महक तो प्यार छोड़े है।
जिन लोगों को ज्योति के ब्याह के कार्ड बांट रखे हैं, उन्हें क्या कहोगा? ब्याह कैंसिल?
कोई कुछ नहीं बदलेगा हमारे हाँ के बिना। दोबारा नहीं बोलूंगी मैं।
ये जगह जगह सेफ होम के कोठे खुलवा के भगोड़ों को हौसला भी तन्नी दिया से।
कोठे खुलवाए हैं तो उसकी चाबी भी तुम्हारे धोरे से है।
एक दिन माँ यशोदा ने श्री किशन जी को माटी खाते पकड़ा तो किशन जी साफ मुकर गए। माँ यशोदा ने बोला, छूटे मुंह खोल। जैसे किशन जी ने मुंह खोला, यशोदा ने क्या देखा?
ब्रह्मांड। ज्योति मुझे जिंदा वापस चाहिए, अपने हाथों से काटूंगी।
दो नाम लिख, ज्योति और आशु। ये दो नाम मिले तो पता कर कौन से सेफ होम में बेचा है।
ऊपर पड़ी है, जा ले आ।
डॉक्टर साहब, बारियों बता। इस्माइल कर तेरी बहू ने व्हाट्सएप कर दूंगा।
अरे अपना फैसला बदल दे और डाकघर ने मारे हवाले कर दे।
बराबरी होती ना बिल्लो तो 200 की बारात लेके आता तेरी चौखट पे।
क्यों करा डाकर को डबल क्रॉस?
बाहर निकल, बाहर निकल।
जब जब तन्ने अपना सबक तोड़ा, तब तब तुम्हारा संसार टूटा।
And that's a wrap on Vision of Asia tonight. Send us your suggestions and community news that you would like us to cover for our print and television coverage at events@itvgold.com. Follow us on our Facebook handle at itvgold, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and pick up a free copy of Desi Talk if you are in the tri-state or in the Chicago area for community news, entertainment, and events in US and India. You can also read the News India Times newspaper online at www.newsindiatimes.com or subscribe to the hot copy by calling 212-675-7515. Thank you and happy Monday.